JJ McCarthy's performance Wednesday against the Patriots, the joint practice that they had on Wednesday, it was a bit up and down. And McCarthy was a bit frustrated with himself. And this is coming from TJ Hawkinson by way of Kevin Seifert submitting his piece on ESPN.com earlier this morning, saying, quote, Hawkinson noted afterwards that McCarthy wasn't super happy about some of the things that happened. Thursday, O'Connell worked to put him in some more favorable situations. Also, noting that along with the rest of the offensive staff, KOC put together a mini game plan for Thursday's session. McCarthy and the rest of the offense needed to do some things that make sense from a rhythm, timing, and spacing standpoint. I've questioned KOC's in-game play calling several times. I still have a few question marks about it, but not as many as I did before. But no doubt, something that you cannot deny is that when it comes to the behind the scenes game planning, adjusting from the previous game where he made some mistakes to correcting those mistakes for the following Sunday's game, KOC is one of the best in the league to do just that. In fact, in this piece by Kevin Seifert, McCarthy said he has been working on moderating what he called a perfectionist personality. There's nothing wrong with being a perfectionist up to a point, because you don't want to let it get so bad that every little mistake just straight up consumes you to where you're not even close to your best at all. And I can relate. Sometimes I have a bad show and I'm like, man, I should have said this or I should have pointed out that. But you just move on. You learn from your mistakes and you get better. Some people may not be able to do that on their own. That even though JJ McCarthy is Mr. Zen, Mr. Calm, you see the IG photos where he's meditating in front of the goalpost. Sometimes you might need a pat on the back, an attaboy. I just appreciate KOC's cognizance, recognizing that JJ McCarthy, all right, Wednesday, it didn't go well. Let's work on something different, something that's going to be more simple and more favorable for you. The result of that in Thursday's practice, according to Kevin Seifert, up to this point, the best practice that McCarthy has had, including completing 13 consecutive passes. JJ McCarthy snapped on the Patriots defense. The Patriots defense got destroyed, completing touchdown passes to Aaron Jones. I believe it was on the right side of the offense down the sideline. TJ Hawkinson, Jordan Addison, among others. JJ McCarthy went to work. The turnaround, the difference between Wednesday's practice and yesterday's practice was night and day. And sticking with the offense, Donovan Jackson, talked about him on Wednesday as far as the hell of a play that he had, causing 2 pancakes on a catch and run screenplay, running down the field. What would have been a touchdown in a real game. Well, he followed that up on Wednesday into Thursday, yesterday's practice. This play that stood out the most was a pass rep or a pass protection rep versus Milton Williams. And if you remember, during the free agency, the opening of free agency, I was clamoring for the Vikings because we knew they needed to address the defensive line. I'm like, yo, go after this guy, Milton Williams. He's young. He's coming up on his second contract. He's going to be expensive, but do it. Playing with the Eagles, he was fantastic as a depth piece that you knew that he was going to be a problem as a starter with even more reps than what he got in Philly. This is Donovan Jackson, a rookie, versus Milton Williams, a guy who just got the bag.
Open practice season.
Let's play that again without the sound because I want y'all to pay attention. And I mistakenly said 64 on Wednesday. It's actually 74. My bad, Donovan Jackson. So he's lined up against Milton Williams, number 97, okay, from the left guard position versus the interior defensive line. Look where Milton Williams ends up at the end of the play. Boom. Pushed them completely outside the pocket. Going from interior defensive line to outside the pocket, not by your own choice, is crazy. I mean, Donovan Jackson ended up being the left tackle at the end of that play. That's what I'm talking about. This is going to be a special player for this team. And the defense, they went after it. Front seven wreaking havoc. In fact, specifically a play that I want to point out, I didn't even know that Garrett Bradbury was a New England Patriot, but he is. And we're going to watch Javon Hargrave. I know he's been destroying stuff in practice and training camp, but this is Javon Hargrave versus Garrett Bradbury. Let's play that again. Look at that, man. I'm not going to howl on Bradbury more than what I've already done over the last several years. But it is refreshing seeing, well, Garrett Bradbury in his prime form getting driven back, bulldozed back, and this time on the opposite side, not as a Minnesota Viking. Javon Hargrave just straight bulldozed him back into Drake May with no issue. This team is going to be great this year. You in the trenches on both sides of the ball. You've got some players. You've got some dogs up front. And we saw it in these examples of these two plays, one on offense, one on defense. As far as Saturday's game goes, JJ McCarthy, it's been declared he's not going to play. That's fine. Whatever. Some guys that I'm looking out for, Max Brosmer. I want to see if he can continue where he left off. Actually, it's not even just Saturday where he was great, wonderful performance. He's also had a damn good practice week this week following up on Saturday's game. I want to see more of that. I don't know if KLC will make that move, that giant step to say, all right, Max Brosmer, you're the QB2. I think he wants to feel safe at QB2, but Max Brosmer, he's going to make this team as the QB3. Zamaya Vaughn, I want you to make this team so bad. I've been rooting for you ever since the Vikings picked you up. Make something happen. You have too much talent to not make plays, even at this level, the highest level when it comes to the sport of football. Xavier Scott, hey, keep doing what you've been doing. The freight train, the you running through walls like you did on Saturday. I want to see more of that. He's also going to make this team. And lastly, I mean, I guess because it is a battle at this position, looks like we're going to have a punt off between Ryan Wright and Oscar Chapman. And if anybody else wants to step up and make plays and knock everybody's socks off, by all means, go and do it. We'll see you next time on Saturday, reacting to Saturday's preseason game against the New England Patriots. It'll be a little bit later once the game ends. I'm coming back from my daughter's preschool graduation, but after that, I'll get to work on it. We'll see you then.